Hello again, everyone. This is Grunkle with another episode of Grunkle's Race Shop. Today, we're going to prep a race car for an upcoming race, and I've got some helpers coming over, and I thought it'd be fun to just kind of capture the day's events. So I'm just sort of getting the shop ready here. It's a good view of my shop. You can see a few of the cars going on. Oh, here come some of the helpers. I've got my nephew and two of his kids. My grandnephew's coming over, and of course my dog's always out. That's Ozzy. Say hello to Ozzy. He's greeting the kids here. And I've explained to my nephew, who's a grown man obviously, kind of what we're going to try to accomplish today. This is the car he's going to race in an upcoming race with Corinthian Vintage Auto Racing. We're taking 3 cars. Only one of the cars we're taking are in this view. So I had him pull the wheels off, and we're basically here briefly warming the car up. You can see the kids putting their hands over their ears because it's really loud. But we just briefly warmed it up just to kind of check it real quick because we wanted to drain all the fluids out of it. So really I just wanted to get like 100 to 120 degrees in the engine. So here we are. We're going to drain the oil out of the engine. We're going to do the gearbox and the rear gear. The kids want to help, and so does the dog. So anyway, just another day in the workshop. Of course the dog's got to participate in everything, so do the kids. So anyway, look around the race shop a little bit while you're doing this, and I got several things just kind of laying about. See, you got some gearboxes on the floor. Here I am filling the oil filter. My nephew's already got the oil out of the car, and I told him, let's go ahead and change the filter. Somebody went in the bathroom there. Who was that? Oh, it's one of the kids. I remember got some oil on him. Oh my God, he got oil on his hands, so he had to go wash it off real quick. So we cut the filter open. You can't see us over there, but that's what we're doing. I got a vise on the workbench, and I have a tool to cut it open. So we're over there kind of looking at what was in the oil, which the oil was really good shape. I use really, really good oil. I use Driven XP6. It's, you can look that up, or I'll give you some info in the description. By the way, if I haven't asked you already, don't forget to shut up and subscribe. We need you to subscribe to Grunkle's Race Shop. So one of the kids wanted to help remove, I think, the plug out of the gearbox, and so we gave him a wrench, but he couldn't quite reach it, so he stood on a tire. Here we are draining the gearbox. So today we're going to basically drain all the fluids, put new rear seals on the axles, which is part of the process. And it's kind of fun to watch this video. I'm watching it with you. And of course, Ozzy participates in everything. And there we are. One of the kids is playing with a chair in the shop. You can't help but watch the kids in this video. It's kind of funny. Dog going in and out, kids going in and out. Here in a little bit, they're going to get a basketball, and it'll probably show up in the video somewhere along the way. Anyway, so we're pulling the fluids out of the gearbox. This car that we're prepping is one of 3 racing Spridgets, as they call them. Combination of the name Spridget and Midget, or Sprite and Midget, Austin Healey Sprites, and MG Midgets. And this is a 1972 car that was converted, I want to say, about 15 or 18 years ago. I wasn't the person that converted that car from a street car to a race car, but I bought it from them later on. It was really tired when I got it. So here we are. We're going to pull the diff out of the car. Got to drain the fluid first. And what's great about having the kids come over is part of what we really like to do. Certainly I like to do it. I know my nephew does. In that we want to keep them involved. We want to keep them in the process. They learn a lot along the way. So I think he's taking the drive shaft loose so we can pull the differential out, which will come out here pretty quickly. And here I'm probably telling him all the things he's not doing right, and we're having a conversation about it. But actually, I think we're just telling stories here. And I'm flapping my arms. We want to fly. Ozzy's a good dog. He's a standard poodle. Oh, one of the kids petted on him. Standard poodle, full size. He's about, I don't know, I guess he's going to turn 8 this year. So in order to pull the diff out, we got to pull the axles. That's what we're doing on that side of the car. Now we'll come around on this side and pull the axle out on this other side. Here we come. And zippity-doo-dah. Here she comes. There, he's looking at the axle. You pull the axle out. And I guess you didn't see us set it down. But we did get the axles out. It goes so fast on this deal. So, petting the dog again, which is great. Ozzy loves to be petted on. So yeah, now here we're getting ready to really pull the diff. We use the little air gun on pulling. There's like, I think 8 bolts holding the diff in, and the kids like to run the air guns. So we always let them participate in that because it makes the right noise and it's fun to use. Who doesn't like to use an air gun? So there, he got the diff out, and I brought a new one over. The reason we're pulling the diff is we need to change the gear. We had a 3-9 gear ratio in the car for the last track we ran on. Had a really long straightaway, so we needed a low gear so we wouldn't over rev the engine. And so now we're going to put what is a 422 in the engine, and because it's a shorter track, we're going to Eagles Canyon Raceway on the north, I guess it's northwest side of the Dallas-Fort Worth complex. So we got the new diff back in, and we're starting to button it all back up. And I think I had to go in the house and check on something, so my nephew's here by himself for a little bit with the kids. I think one of the kids is 8 years old and the other one's, I don't know, 6 or something like that. Oh, I know what it was. I think they discovered the basketball. In fact, yeah, there it is. Yep, there's the basketball. And they were asking me if I had some way to blow it up. And so I had to go get a little pump for them to do that, and they're over in the corner blowing it up. Then they were having trouble doing it, so I think we all went over there to help them, and off they went and back outside to play basketball. So I think we're going to put this car was in pretty good shape from the last race. Generally what we do is after each race, immediately after the race, after we unload the cars from the trailer, we'll give them a general inspection, which would include basically warming the car up to operating temperature, and then we do a whoops, okay, yeah, we broke for lunch there, but we came right back. Went to Dairy Queen, yay! So what we do, back to what we do for our race weekends and how we handle our cars, is after our race we will basically give the car a good inspection, and then we will run the car at warm the car up to operating temperature, and we will do a leak down on the valves on the head of the engine, and we'll do a compression test, and we just kind of record that. Keep a book on every one of the engines and every one of the cars, and we'll go through the notes we had from the weekend and see if there's anything else. As long as the numbers on the engine are all good, we kind of just write down the time on the engine. We have a clock, a little cheaper kind of electronic clock. It's runs off the induction of the one of the spark plug wires. It's real easy to do. I'll provide some information on that in a link too at some point. And we'll basically kind of just make a long list, and we put a tag on the cars, and then they may get prepped immediately, or they may sit for a little bit depending on how soon they're going to go to a race. This car happened to have been sitting for several months because my nephew, this is the car he drives, and he was not able to, because of these two little munchkins and another one he has, keep him pretty busy. So he was not able to go to the last race or so with us, and so we're prepping now months later. I think the last race we were at where he ran the car was at Circuit of the Americas. So I bet I'm saying the word "so" a lot. I feel like I am. Sorry about that, folks. So you see the dog outside the window there. So we're putting the wheels on. We have a process to set the seals where we use the air gun and the compression of the wheels on the back of these cars to really set the seal on the cars, on the rear axles. If you don't do that just right on these little cars, the rear axle seals, this is all pretty old technology, really technology from the late 50s to early 60s when all that stuff was really worked out, and it didn't change a whole lot even until up into the 70s, which is the date on this car. And so we put rear fluid into the diff. That's what my nephew just did. And now we're sort of doing a little button up, and we're gonna lower the car back down. I think we're finished with most of the underbelly work. And I think we're gonna work on a couple little projects up top. And he's got to remove the shift lever, which is what he's doing now. I think they wore the dog out. He was laying down there. Yeah, the kids wear the dog out, and then okay. So here we are getting ready to put fluid in. I think I just put fluid into the gearbox. I put fluid in through the shift lever. It's just always been my method. It gives me a chance to check all that mechanism too while I'm at it. So these gearboxes only hold 1 quart, and that's it. So when we drain it all out, we know exactly how much to put back in. So it's not complicated. It's a great shot of my nephew there. So we're about to start the car back up, and the kids wanted earplugs, so I'm helping the little one get earplugs in. The older one is already kind of off in the corner. He found a set of earplugs and he put them in, and so here we are starting the car. Can't hear it, but we are warming it up, rotating it. I had already put oil in the engine. I don't know if you saw that or not. And we're gonna top it all off here a little bit. And just checking everything in general. So everything seemed fine, and I'm going to make down a few notes here. So here's one of my little books for the car. So we're making notes and checking everything over, and not far from being finished. One of the things we did, we warmed it up to full temperature, and so we pulled the valve cover off, and we always retorqued the head. Make sure this one actually did need some extra torque in it. So we're about finished with the day's work, and I think I'm losing battery on the camera. So we'll see you next time. Kids are starting to play in the car, and it was a great day. Hope you guys have a great day. Join us some more for Grunkle's Race Shop. Bye. Hey, subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe.